Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a special request video for one of my viewers. He requested a video where we can discuss where you should be spending your gems and basically how you should be saving them up, or what is the best place where you can use them. So let's start from the obvious stuff, which is recruiting characters. Obviously, you will be getting these character consumables, so you can basically summon them up. This works for the both advanced recruit and for the special type recruiters. No, actually, special types you can't really use the gems on, I believe, but you can on the advanced recruit. So to be honest, when I started the game, especially when I was just progressing, like the first week, I spent tons of gems on just summoning characters, just because I wanted to expand my roster, and generally I felt like it's necessary to gain some of the characters you really need to build a good team out so you can push the game. But very fast, probably as soon as you get the character, well, maybe not the character you want, but as soon as you get the team that is able to advance stages and everything efficiently, and as soon as you're able to get your character to a legendary status, I think that's the point where you should maybe start, thinking about how you're going to be using these gems with the recruits, because you start gaining a lot less value, right? Like from at my current stage in the game, obviously summoning is very important and it can help you a lot, but even saying so, for example, if I take a look at my characters right now, I have my team is mostly consisted of these two characters are complete, and then I'm using two more old world characters, and only one of my characters is from the basic types. So the thing is, I can't really get I can't get basically the old world characters here. So that's one thing. Then, secondly, even if I want to spend gems, you can get complete characters here, but the chance is extremely low, and you would be a lot better just using the mystery gacha. It does cost 5,000 for 10 draws compared to the other one, but the chances here when you choose a complete character are basically 2%. So that's a hell of a lot better than trying to get 0.021 chance. So definitely, if you're building a team with complete characters, you could think about using it here. Although I would still kinda be careful with it, just because this is gacha and you can spend like thousands and thousands of gems and then still get nothing. So generally, I haven't spent a lot of gems here. I usually wait for the events that provide you this. For example, when you go into the 7-day login, you see you will be getting a lot of these recruitment tokens, so you can basically use those. And in most cases, those should be pretty much enough to give you a very solid base. And then you also, this main reward after 7 days, you get those mystery gacha tokens, and you get like, I think I'm getting 30 of them right now. So like if you were to translate that in gems, it's basically like value of 15,000 gems. So that's not really something I would suggest using them up. Basically, you don't have to be too careful about gems, because you can earn gems easily by attaining milestones, especially when pushing the stages. So that's a very good place where you can get them. You can also get some of them from the missions, and you always usually get them from the road to be strong, and also from a lot of events. So what I'm trying to tell you is, like, you're gonna keep getting gems like the whole length of game, even if you're not paying money. So you shouldn't really be too concerned about how you use them, but there are definitely things that you need to prioritize before spending them in like random manner, or like just trying to push maybe getting some characters or whatnot. So in my opinion, using gems is very important in terms of making sure it fits well with the power-up systems. So as I talked in my last video, like the strongest boost is getting the cards, because they boost all of your characters, they give you the most power, and it's just like a place that, like, if you have a very strong deck, you can basically kill anybody. Like, look at this. How much stats I'm just getting for all of my characters from the decks. So saying that, like, the thing where it's the most important to spend your gems on is basically building your card decks. And there aren't too many places where you can actually spend them. So once you unlock this special day event, it's basically it's basically a challenge where you pass levels, and then at certain levels you're gonna be able to buy things from the shop and the store, and that shop and store that is offered is gonna be for the gems, and then you can buy stuff for your decks. So basically prioritizing finishing the special day and then buying stuff from the special day. I think this one resets every 3 days or every 2 days, and usually it takes like, I don't know, I think 2 or 3,000 gems. So this is like the place I would always spend them on the special day, so I can upgrade my deck. And then obviously when you go to mall, there are things you can buy. So for example, when I see card packs here, I always buy card packs just because they're like they can, you know, infinite boost. I wanted to cover shop like on a whole separate topic, so I'm not gonna go deeply into this. But let's talk about like gem spending. I haven't really spent gems on buying these talent potions. I guess at certain points they can be useful, but I just think like the talents don't really give you that much power, and I think it's expensive, so I'm skipping them for now. I also spent some gems, for example, when you get like 5 epic shards for 90, that's a really good price, so I bought them there. And then let's see, most of these other shops are not for gems, so you're not really going to be spending gems here. So basically in the store, the general store, you can buy the cards, and then there are also those upgrade things for your deck, which are really strong. Let me see, just it's basically these items. They cost I think around 1,000 at the shop, and then they're discounted for other stuff. So that's where I would spend them. I would never spend gems on buying the gear. Maybe buying a legendary gear that has the right type would be worth it, because long term it could be good, but I never spent it basically on gems. Then when it comes to limit or breakthrough, I haven't actually, this is somewhere I would spend them, but I think I haven't actually seen a way where I can buy that for the gems, so I kind of am not really using it, you know. I'm not really using it. Battleville, this is a place where I use it a couple of times to expand it, but you will be able to expand it just by, you know, farming it up, by passing levels and so on. So I wouldn't advise spending it here unless you absolutely need it for that moment. So not really there. There's nothing to spend in online tournaments. As I said, you know, they say it's the special day, which is the important one. In other ones, you're not really spending any games, so you can ignore that. And this is a, I think this is a good place to farm. The adventure can give you a lot of games, I believe. I forgot a little bit about it, but yeah. So basically, when you just start, maybe the first week you can spend games like in the advanced recruit just to expand your roster and build a starting base. But after that, definitely I wouldn't advise spending gems here. It you know, the more you summon them, the less it's worth the cost. In Mystery Gacha, you can definitely spend them here, but always save some gems so you're able to spend them where it really matters, which is for the deck cards. And then obviously when we're talking about decks, we go to the events, right? We have to see what events are available and where we can spend them. So Basically, whenever you see a card pack event, this is a place where you can exchange your gems to get more cards, like here. And this is something that's gonna be costly in gems. It can cost a lot of gems because you can buy like what I think it's around 150 of these. So always spend your gems as a priority in the limited card pack. Cards are the most important thing, as I said. The old world gacha doesn't let you use any gems, so you can't really spend the gems here, so you can be relaxed about that. When you have events like this, for example, old world returns, you can see there are exchanges, and then you can like exchange some gems to get the summoning tokens. So it's really hard to cover like all of the places where you can spend the gems, but what I definitely can tell you is that when you're spending gems, you really need to think about how much is that gonna actually boost your team. So and you always should follow the events. Usually, I don't think you need to save up too much gems because gems are very easily farmable and events last for 5 days. So if for 5 days straight you farm gems for that event, in most cases you're going to have enough. But as a precaution, I would say you should probably save up around 5 to 10,000 gems and just hold them there, even though I'm not doing it right now because I'm all out and I haven't really progressed in stages that much recently. But you should have like 5 to 10,000 gems like stored, and that way you're gonna make sure that when any event comes, you're gonna be able to handle it. So far, there haven't been events that used like insane amount of gems where you can like spend, I don't know, 100k or 50k. It's usually maybe up to 10k or so on. So basically, as I said, the most important thing when it comes to spending gems, the first thing you want to do is you want to see what events are active. And for each and every event, you need to check this like, okay, this is the summoning, so you can't do it here. But let's say, for example, this one, right? You want to click this button and see if it's available to buy more of these tokens for the gems, and then you should basically see what are the rewards, and that's where you can spend them. For example, past week, I can't really record it right now, but there was an event where you basically could wish to get some complete characters, and I know when you wished it, you get some points, and then you can exchange those points further to buy the shards for those characters. So that was a really big event, and I kind of missed some of it, but I caught on later, I think, to the second event where I basically went ahead and exchanged it. So the main thing is always when there is any event active, click this get more button and see all the ways you can get them, and then if you can buy them for gems, in most cases it's going to be worth it, but you should still, you know, look what the rewards are, and you should also keep in mind the exchanges. For example, this is a card pack, but even though I'm like drawing it here, like every time I draw, I gain these points here in the upper part. Some events would have this. Obviously, there would not be like card pack points. There would be something different, but you can check here the exchange, and for example, I can exchange them for the breakthrough cards, or I can exchange them for special card slots, which makes this event, you know, more worthy. So what I'm trying to say is, whenever events come, your first mission would be to analyze all the events that are active, analyze the ways you can get more of those, you know, tokens to pull them, push them, wish them, see if you can exchange for gems, and then see what the event is offering. Usually, if it is any event connected to getting the complete characters or the old world characters, you definitely want to do it, because those events are a lot more easier, will allow you to get the characters a lot more easily than just using the recruitment system. And then whenever you see the card pack events, that's something where you want to be spending them on. And basically that's it. If you follow the events, you're gonna be mostly ready for spending the gems. And in the mall, you should kind of be, you should look what's in store every single day. As I said, I never spent them on gear. I think this is too much for gear. I wouldn't really buy this, especially because you get gear as you progress yourself. So that's something I would avoid. These cards for promotions are good. I could potentially use them if I really had a lot of gems stored, but I usually buy them from the other sources, probably from the guild store mainly. And that's kind of it. I wouldn't really spend it on these things. I wouldn't spend it on even buying like a lot of, maybe an epic character if the price was right, but I wouldn't that much on the talents. I wouldn't. I'm not going to be spending it on the blessing stone. I guess the whole idea is like everything you can get in game. Like for example, here I can get these ones which are for the spirit shard world, so I wouldn't really need to be spending them. And then when I am trying to get the blessings, I forgot how, but I think from dailies you can get the blessing stones or somewhere else. So the point is, don't rush to spend all of your gems. Keep like 5 to 10,000 stored, because when the main events hit, you want to be able to buy those draws for the events, analyze the events yourself, see what they're doing. That's your most important thing. And then obviously in the special day, you want to be spending them and checking them all, what's in store. But I hope that explained a lot. Again, everything is, when it comes to gems, everything is related to either getting more character power or getting better characters. Getting complete and old world characters long term, I think, is always worth it. So that's one thing. Gear, not really worth it to spend gems on. Limiter breakthrough, if you can, it usually is worth it, but I haven't seen that event so far. Blessing, you can spend that as well, but it's kind of expensive, so I wouldn't really spend a lot there. That's from the wishing well. Chips, if you get to buy mythical chips, I think it's gonna be worth it, but anything else I would probably avoid. Maybe the legendary chips would be worth it. Talents I usually wouldn't buy for gems, and then obviously you can spend them to upgrade your bots in the guild. I wouldn't really be, I haven't spent money on upgrading it here, I mean the gems. I don't really think it's that worth it. And don't spend it on summoning the bots. You're going to be getting them every single day for the summons. So that's around it, guys. You're going to also be getting gems from farming this thing in the guild, so make sure you're in a guild. I'm actually the owner of the Frozen Sunset Guild, so we're recruiting strong members. If you're watching these videos, feel free to apply. It's everybody now from level 40 on can join, so I'm constantly kicking inactive people. So yeah, that's it. Hope this video was helpful.